We are just around 2 months away from summer, and we want to get you the results you deserve. We want you to feel your absolute best, feel confident in whatever you're wearing, whether it's a bathing suit, a tank top, whatever it is. We just want you to feel your best, and that's our mission here, is to help as many of you succeed, not just for summer, but for the rest of your life. So if you're looking to learn more and apply for our discounted coaching program, all you have to do is head to our website, which is linked down in the first link below, but it's also colossusfitness.com. Fill out the short application, should only take you a few minutes. We'll make sure that you're the right fit, and we will get you your guaranteed results for our coaching program, and we can't wait to help some of you awesome people. We'll see you in that form.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fit, Healthy, and most of all happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
Today we got 7 pro tips to make dieting easy. So if you've been struggling with dieting and you want to take the die out of dieting, this episode is for you. What's number 1, Kyle?
Number 1, so simply put, give you a backstory. Like, I started my shred and I'm looking to think of how many things can I implement to just make it like I just go. You know, I don't really think about it. I don't spend hours a day just dedicating towards this whole dieting phase. And the first thing is just doing it with others. I think like when you have that group chat, when you have other people with you, whether you have others at work and that's what you're talking about, it just makes it so much easier. The accountability is so much better. And I just feel like there's more real stakes there. You both set amazing goals, or you've all set amazing goals, and you talk about it and you check in and you send different photos. Like, you know, sometimes it is hard to find those people, but honestly, once you get talking, whether it's someone at the gym and you know us, you've seen someone there for a while crushing it and you see them on the same journey as you can have that conversation. I guarantee you, if you go into a workplace, you can find other people who are trying to get ready for summer and just feel their best. Family members, spouses, like there's so many people around you. And that's what we're doing right now, is we have an amazing community, my friends involved, but also for what we do for a living. We have an amazing Facebook group. We have so many awesome clients getting ready, getting in shape, posting recipes in our group. Our Facebook community is absolutely fantastic. There's not just one coach, but there's multiple coaches there holding you accountable. And that's why when you join our coaching program, you're going to have access to all these amazing resources and all these amazing people on the exact same path as you. That's going to hold you accountable. That's going to cheer you on every time you celebrate a win. So once again, fill out that first link if you want to learn more. But the biggest thing here is do it not just for yourself, but also with a bunch of other people as well.
Absolutely. And into my next tip, it's to really schedule things out so you can minimize unknowns. So yes, there will always be unknowns, there will always be obstacles, but there are a lot of ways to make it a lot easier on yourself. A good example of this is starting to pre-log. One habit I make, and I have a little to-do list in the morning, is I'll tentatively plan out my day. I knew what I was having for breakfast this morning. I knew where I was going for lunch. I have that all in. I tentatively know what I'm having for dinner, and then I can work around that, and I can see how many calories do I have left in the budget. Am I going to be able to have a ice cream cone at dinner, whatever it may be? You're able to give yourself that by getting in front of it instead of getting behind. When you eat your food, then you log it, you can really warp those numbers to have them fit. You can be really inaccurate. You can be over and you can't do anything about it. Whereas when you do it before, it gives you full and total control, and only you have control of what you put in your mouth. No one else is force feeding you. At least I'd like to hope not. So because of that, there should be no reason you can't hit your calories, and doing this makes it so much easier for me. Another thing I'll do too is really be up to date with my calendar. So I'll really budget in when I do have big events, special dinners, different occasions, and I'll really work around that. And if you know you're having a more exotic dinner in the coming days, it's a great reason to eat at home, really be in control of your calories. And then if you want to exercise, having a mindful day, you can do that. Where you'll go wrong is if you're just eating garbage for a few days and you go into an event, you go way off the deep end there, you had no idea, and you really just end up in a really big detriment. So those are some of my biggest pieces of advice there.
Yeah, and I even like that Josh plans out the meals for the week. You know, I walked into his house and I saw a little calendar there for the dinners, and I thought that was great. I started doing it. I need to get something to put on the fridge, but I put in my notepad just to, plan out, okay, here's what I'm having. Here's the groceries I need available for it. And when you have these things thought out and planned out, it just makes it so much easier. So the initial phase of like planning it out, maybe, getting the recipes down, maybe buying the stuff, like obviously takes a bit of time, but it just makes it so much easier. So when you go home, when you do your prep, like the things are already thought out and you already know what's up. So it just ends up making it long-term much easier. So great hack there. I thought that was fantastic as well. But I want to spend a bit more time on the social occasions, right? So a lot of times, you'll hear other coaches eat at home. That's it. That's the only way to do it. And as easy as that is, and as much as I'd like to just say, hey, cook everything, which I do believe most people should be cooking the majority, the social events are where people, once you go to them, it's so easy to turn into a snowball effect where you have a couple bad days, or that one meal turns into two meals turns into three, and you just fall off. So I really think that when you spend time planning for those social occasions, like Josh was talking about, you can really stay on track so much better from looking at menus beforehand. Even sometimes if I have a social event, if it's not something up my alley in terms of the food, sometimes I'll actually eat a small healthy snack beforehand, kind of pre-eat. So I'll hit my protein. I'll still have something beforehand. I'll still have a little something at that event, but it may not be, an entire meal just because I'm not looking forward to that and it just doesn't fit within my goals. But the truth is that when you sit there, when you do that pre-logging, when you look menus up in advance, when you put everything in and you actually know what's going on within the week, it makes it so much easier versus just all these things popping up and you already being over your calories or at your calories, and then now you're at a special event. So putting that in the calendar, and even we have a lot of different tips to help you eat out and stay on track. We've actually put together an 18-page fast food survival guide with so many different principles, with so many different tips on how to log things, on different things that we incorporate within that, and you can actually get that completely free. So second link in the description is the free fast food survival guide, 12 different tips, so many different recipes, so many different suggestions and different things on the go. And when I come down to this little tip here, I also want to say when it comes to eating out, a lot of people fall off and they struggle with this. Choose the healthier option. Like you can absolutely have, a nice little cup of rice with, a side salad and a chicken breast and still reach your goals. Amazing. It may not taste as great as that 2,000 calorie burger with fries, but choosing the healthier option and choosing those healthier fast food alternatives, which is what we typically tend to do, is an easy way to help make it easier and just hit your calories much more efficiently.
Yeah, this is something I've really been leaning into, and sometimes a healthier option will cost more money, but I see that as a direct investment into myself, and it can be such a difference maker instead of just defaulting for the cheapest, most garbage option. And when it's something a little more expensive, but you have the opportunity to get like a really good, at a fancy restaurant, nice chicken breast and rice with cool presentation with vegetables, it can make it more exotic. You can still hit your calories, you can still enjoy the experience, you can get a nice steak at somewhere where the rest of the options are really garbage. Like you have different opportunities within that. And into my next tip, it's really just practicing being mindful with your eating and really acknowledging when you're hungry, why you're hungry. And all too often I'll want to eat because I'll be like, oh, it's that time of the day, I need to eat. But the reality is I'm not even hungry. And this can be a big detriment if you are in a cut. Really analyzing like, I'm hungry, so I will eat. It's really refreshing to actually take it to that basic level, and it's a lot more of a healthy option. Whereas sometimes I'll go, ooh, I'm hungry. And then I'll go, no, I'm not hungry. I'm just bored. I'm watching TV. I got nothing going on. So I just want more quick joy. I want more stimulation. And you can work around that by really being present, just enjoying watching that TV show, enjoying being out with friends. You can have a nice glass of water. You can enjoy just a coffee. There's a quote I actually love, and I have it written down here, and it says, if you can't be happy with a coffee, you won't be happy with a yacht. I know it's a little bit of a side track, but I think it's such a cool thing to enjoy what food you have, to enjoy every bite, every sip, really appreciate it for what it is. And the more you look at food this way, it's a lot easier to eat way less. Whereas like I used to struggle because I'd eat dinner and I want a second dinner and I want a snack or a third dinner, and I would just want all these portions. And instead I'm like, listen, instead of worrying about the next portion, I scarf it down. I'm actually enjoying what I'm eating. I'm chewing my food. And it sounds so trivial and simple, but I'm telling you, it will make such a world of difference. So having that presence, enjoying each bite, taking your time, using all those little tips and tricks alongside it also go a long way.
Yeah, it's actually been proven that those who are always distracted while eating do tend to eat roughly 20% more. And it makes sense, right? Because you're always watching TV. Some people, even if you're driving and you're eating something, or, you're in a meeting, you're always consuming something. You just don't even realize what's going on. And after a while, you're just like, I'm sure some of you realize, like, you eat a meal and you're like, wait, I didn't even realize I just finished that. Whereas when you're actually sitting there being present, enjoying each bite, like, it really does make a big difference. I know it's easier said than done, and I'm guilty of sometimes, not following this one as well as I should, but it is something that I do believe needs to be said here. Simply put, number 5 is just focusing on nutrient density. So, I want you to try to do something. I want you to have a nice healthy bowl. I know we're talking about broccoli, chicken, and rice. It's just the easiest example. Have a nice healthy bowl or plate, I guess you could say, of that, and then compare that to something unhealthier. I don't want you to go and have that unhealthier thing, but think back to that moment where you had a 700 calorie pizza slice. Like, that thing will be gone within a second and you'll want more. Whereas something, let's say 700 calories worth of broccoli, chicken, and rice, like, you will not be able to finish that. Like, it'll be very, very challenging. So simply put, focusing on eating healthier and asking yourself within each meal what it is that is where the benefits are coming from. So using my breakfast as an example, I know we talk about a Greek yogurt a lot, but everything that I put in there, I'm thinking, what is the benefit? The blueberries are amazing antioxidants, great source of fiber. They're actually very filling for the overall total calorie intake. Even strawberries, I was blown away when I was looking at the actual numbers of just like how many strawberries. Like, if I were to try to have 100 calories of strawberries, like, I will be full. Whereas, like, there's other things that I would have, let's say a cookie, for example, you could have 100 calories and be like, I literally ate nothing. So simply put, of course, flexible dieting is important, which we'll talk about in a second. But if you really focus on eating more protein, having more fiber, having more veggies, and just whole healthy foods with as minimal ingredients as possible in them, you will just naturally start to eat less, and it will be way easier versus the person who's always having takeout, who's always, just having the unhealthier thing. You'll have someone who's having 2,000 calories and be like, I'm so stuffed, like, this is hard to eat this much. And then someone who's having 2,000 and they're like, man, I just feel like I'm having nothing. And that person who's eating, the less quality food is just going to be struggling more, and it's going to be harder for them.
My next tip would be just stop making excuses, lock in, get it done. There's always an excuse to not succeed in a diet. It's a bad time with vacation. It's hard in the summer. It's hard in the winter. It's hard in the fall. You get the MO here. What you really need to do is just say, how can I succeed with what's going on now? Perhaps you have less control with your food. You can always control how much of that food you eat. You can control your snacks. You can always say no to eating at certain events. Like, you need to take responsibility to have success in your own diet, and you need to stop making excuses. And if you're someone who thrives with accountability, which I think we all are, let me help you with that. Let me help you make it as easy as possible. Definitely click that first link to learn more about our coaching. I will take care of all of that for you. But yeah, you really just got to lock in, get this done. And it's unfortunate, but it's a phase of time. A diet should not be forever. It's just for you to help lean out, to get through that phase. And by really doing it intentionally and doing it correct, you're actually going to see more results faster. You're going to get through it, and you're going to be proud of yourself for getting it done.
Yeah, there will always be an excuse if you look for them. I've heard a million of them to this date. Unfortunately, I've made some myself. I hear others as well. And even, they're like, it's my birthday month. It's my sibling's birthday month. It's my friend. Like, there will be so many different things. If you're looking for an excuse, trust me, you will absolutely find one. If you're looking for a reason to lock in and just a reason to get it done, you'll also get that done. So look for that reason. Don't make excuses, and you'll see so much better success. But simply put, number 7 next up is practice flexible dieting. So I want to put a little asterisk here. You have to understand the type of person you are and what works best. I've had some people say the second I introduce some more fun foods and some things that go off the rails and it just doesn't work, that's fine, okay? You have to understand what type of person you are, how your body reacts the best, overall how your mind reacts the best as well. I find myself, if I'm getting a craving, or if there's something that I just want to incorporate, whether it's a piece of dark chocolate, whether it's a 150 calorie cookie, maybe a 200 calorie ice cream cone, I find that when I'm in a dieting phase, and if I can have that one little thing and have it maybe be 5 to 10% of my calories, that my adherence is so much better, that my sustainability is better. I don't feel like I'm, I don't even feel like I'm dieting as much. Yes, of course, there'll be a bit of hunger involved. That's totally natural when you are in a deficit. Of course, there's lots of ways to minimize it, as we were talking about healthy whole foods and all that great stuff before. But at the same time, I think some people put themselves through just this very brutal experience where it just feels like you can't even last another day. And that's why they go off the deep end. And the other kind of like little bonus tip I have here is just set a time frame, right? So for me, knowing that, I've got 8 weeks to do this amount, lose this amount of weight, to accomplish this, to fit into this, like it makes it so much easier than, like Josh was saying before, like thinking that it's going to be something you have to go through for the rest of your life. So I think that's another very important thing. And with all these tips, like there's no way you're going to fail. And of course, having that accountability, having that support from someone who cares, who's by your side. Of course, if you implement all these, that's great. But if you're not hitting the right numbers, if you're not working out to the right intensity and doing the right type of stuff, it still will be very challenging. And that's why I highly recommend, let us take care of you, take the guesswork out of the process. We get you guaranteed results. So all you have to do is fill out that first link and we will 100% be there for you.